Take a listen.
In a place, my neighbor is Zulu people. So each and every day when I wake up, when I start to go in somewhere, like in tuck shop to buy something to eat, there was like harassing us and to promise to kill and told me something bad. So that's why today I decided to come to join our brothers here that I can go home with no, my wife, she's a Zulu woman. So I tried to talk to her, and she said she cannot live, she cannot stay with the children because she cannot provide them. That's why I said you can you can go with them, no problem.
Yes, as I said, we will be bringing you Jackie back on the program to give us more situation reports on site there from South Africa. Jackie is our correspondent from Love World Sat, South Africa. Hello, Jackie. First of all, give us a situation report from what you can see. What's going on? Is the atmosphere calm or has protests intensified over there in South Africa?
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity and good morning to the LN24 viewers. I think sound is a bit low, but yeah, I think I'm gathering that you're asking about the state of affairs as things stand on ground.
Report.
We've been observing and we've been getting feeds from different sources that the situation is not so volatile, more especially where mass demonstrations are being carried out. The city of Durban, we've seen a lot of people, particularly in the KZN area, or rather region, province for those who are in South Africa, large groups gathering and carrying out peaceful demonstrations. I think still early in the but we are not anticipating any violence in more especially where there is proper coordination of the demonstration. But as things stand, we've not heard of any unpalatable incidents that have been reported. We are seeing numbers, putting themselves together. I think the demonstrations are gathering momentum in different parts of the country.
All right, and our hopes and prayers goes over to the illegal migrants over there in South Africa that the protest remains peaceful and no escalation goes on. But Jackie, what part of South Africa right now, are considered a main area of concerns today, and what is the level of security presence over there right now?
Look, I think there's been so much deployment of resources in terms of security personnel in business sites, big business sites, and really in areas that have been deemed to be posing a threat in terms of the big numbers. You know that the people are, coordinating the demonstrations. They arguably don't have the significant resources and the experience to coordinate everybody who will be participating on these demonstrations. Hence, the government has deployed a significant amount of money to help, in coordinating the protests, especially in areas which pose significant threats, like your Durban and other areas. But Durban, for me, is the biggest one. And you from our experiences of the July unrest in recent times, we've seen that when demonstrations like these are not well coordinated and there is no sufficient resources deployed on ground can secure, there are people who take advantage of the situation, even though the demonstrations themselves are not aimed at distracting anyone or anything, in simple terms. Some people just take advantage and things go out of hand. And because the people who are organizing the marches themselves do not have the sufficient capacity from a security point of view to can, intercept or even prevent that from happening. So I think the sufficient resources that the government has deployed. Look, the right to protest. It's a right entitled to South Africans, and it is good to do so when they feel like they're dissatisfied with any area of interest. We are not seeing this with the issue of immigrants in South Africa for the first time. We have seen it on a number of occasions, and yes, often more than not, the casualties become the people, more especially when resources are not deployed. But with this one, we have seen that there's a relative, beef up. It's quite palatable on the ground from a security perspective because the government has deployed resources in that direction.
All right, Jackie, taking a hint from what you said that the government has deployed relevant or adequate or sufficient resources, to security. And now that makes me to wonder, because authorities have actually said that the government, has rejected claims of an official deadline for foreigners to leave. So I want to ask, what exactly are the government officials saying as of today, since you said sufficient resources by the government have been deployed for security? What are the government saying about it, rejecting official deadline dates?
Look, there's no official deadline date type of a thing. It's just a narrative that is misinformed because from the perspective of the law, we have systems in the country. South Africa is not a banana republic where anyone can rise from any corner and do as they please, right? What we are seeing is citizens organizing themselves in different parts of the country to get the attention of the government so that the government deals with the issue of illegal migrants or rather including the issue of inadequate migration systems in the country. As you can see, citizens are not in the business really from an official stance. Citizens are not really in the business. They do not have even that constitutional privilege to sweep out people of the country like that. There is a way we deal with immigration issues, and that is underpinned by the various laws in the country. And there are people who are official conduits in the state who are being given that mandate to deal with issues of migration, including the Border Management Authority and the Department of Home Affairs in government. So there is no such thing as a deadline. What South Africans are doing actually is to demand the attention of the government in issues of migration, because the truth of the matter is there are issues, and we see illegal migrants in different parts of the country carrying out, criminal activities. You talk about the distribution of drugs, kidnapping, the issue of sex workers. These are the things that we are observing in different parts of the country. But that does not mean that illegal migrants, or migrants rather, are the ones who are the sole perpetrators of these acts. We do have, if you can look at our statistics report, South Africans who are also, enabling the crime themselves in the different parts of the country, if you look at the states. But the pervasive perspective and the experience, especially in high density areas like the townships and rural areas, people have found themselves being victims or even casualties of criminal activities carried out by more especially illegal foreigners. Like in my area, in the western region of the Gauteng province, we have an issue of being terrorized by illegal miners, the Basotho foreigners, to be quite direct with you, who have captured the mining industry in the region and have really harassed, tortured, very brutally so, people on the ground. So these are the issues. So it's not a one size fits all kind of a thing. And like the man of God said, the only people who have got the competencies to can deal with these issues adequately is the state, and the state must wake up. And I think that's the message of South Africans, to say the people who are sleeping on the job must wake up and do that job.
There, Jackie, because the issue of illegal migration is against the constitution of a whole lot of countries right there. But before we let you go, Jackie, looking ahead now, looking ahead the next few hours now, what should African viewers, you know, across Africa be watching to see as events unfold?
Look, first and foremost, the place of prayer remains inevitable, because the enemy has got a tendency of hijacking such activities or processes to advance his cause against humanity. You know, at the end of the day, we are all human beings. We are made in the image and likeness of God, and you deserve my love. I deserve your love. We need to find a common place so that we can coexist. So prayer is very important, because human mind can only do so much. So first and foremost, those of our viewers must really watch with a prayerful eye. With a prayerful eye, they must watch with a prayerful eye. But number two, and for me, what is most important, it's for, because a dialogue now needs to begin. We need to have a conversation and find each other as Africans. Let us hear what are the common issues on the ground, and let us begin in our common, or rather in our respective spaces, to have conversations about the common concerns that are affecting on issues affecting South Africans. It's not only South Africans, even the migrants, whether legal or illegal, who are in this country, have issues, and we need to find a common solution to this thing and hold the people accountable. I know that South Africa's democracy is quite radical as opposed to that of the entire continent. But I think the time has come that we find each other and see how we can collaborate strategically to resolve issues of immigration in Africa.
Yes, and I hope that the issues of immigration in Africa, because it's Africa for Africa, right? We are our brother's keeper
Absolutely.
here in Africa. And I hope that the issues and dialogue, as you said, will be done. But thank you so much, Jackie. That's the most we can take, you know, at this. Thank you so much, Jackie, Love World SARS correspondent. Thank you so much. Now, that's the
Amazing.
most...
Thank you so much.
All right. Our dear viewers over here in Nigeria, that's the much we can take on this morning's show on LN 24/7. Do stay tuned for more programming, more wholesome programming, amazing programming here on LN 24/7, other news programs, and our news bulletins for more updates on what's going on around the world. Unsube Chukwanodo, it's my name, your pilot, and bye for now.